Some voices come along once in a generation. Some artists don't just perform, they define eras. And when a voice like that collides with one of hip-hop's most respected minds, the world doesn't just watch, it expects magic. Jennifer Hudson and Common were never seen as just another celebrity pairing. From the moment their names were linked, it felt inevitable, almost pre-written. It wasn't Hollywood randomness. This was Chicago destiny. Two kids from the South Side. Two stories carved from struggle, talent, and survival. Two completely different paths that somehow curved back toward each other. Jennifer Hudson's journey had always felt larger than life. Raised on gospel harmonies that shook church walls, sharpened on Broadway stages that demanded perfection, and introduced to the world through the unforgiving spotlight of American Idol. Her voice didn't just sing, carried weight, pain, loss, faith, victory. Every note felt lived in, earned. She wasn't just a singer. She was resilience with a melody. Common came from a different battlefield. The golden era of conscious hip-hop. A poet disguised as a rapper. A man whose words were layered with intellect, purpose, and quiet power. While others chased charts, he chased meaning. His verses spoke about identity, justice, love, and self-reflection long before it was fashionable. Together, they looked perfectly balanced. Power and poetry. Elegance and edge. Structure and freedom. Discipline and sold-out fans didn't just ship them, they believed in them. They showed up together at charity galas, award shows, film festivals, and cultural events, always representing Chicago with pride. Cameras caught warm smiles, natural touches, unforced laughter. Nothing felt staged. Nothing felt awkward. Their body language told a story of comfort, familiarity, and ease. For a long time, people were convinced this is the one that lasts. But history has taught us something about flawless public images. There is always a version of the story the cameras never see. As months passed, subtle changes began to surface. Nothing dramatic, nothing headline-worthy at first, just small shifts. Interviews where their energy didn't fully align. Moments where one seemed present while the other felt distant. Fans, as always, noticed before the media did, and then came the question no one ever wants to ask about a beloved celebrity couple: is this real love, or just a beautiful illusion? The whispers started quietly. Some said Common had never truly been the settling down type. That he moved through relationships like a traveler, always searching, rarely staying long enough to plant roots. Others joked, half seriously, that he floated like a butterfly, or worse, like a bee drifting from flower to flower. Drawn to beauty, but never committed to permanence. This wasn't a new narrative around him. And it wouldn't be the last, but Jennifer Hudson wasn't just another chapter. She was different. She wasn't just famous, she was an institution. An EGOT winner, a respected actress, daytime talk show powerhouse, woman whose brand represented grace, stability, and hard-earned success. For someone like Jennifer, image wasn't about vanity. It was about protection. By early 2023. Paparazzi photos began surfacing from cities like Chicago, Philadelphia, and Malibu. At first, headlines played it safe. Just friends. Nothing confirmed. Both camps denied anything romantic. But fans aren't blind, and they're rarely wrong. By 2024. Denial wasn't enough. Their on-screen collaboration in the sci-fi thriller Breathe poured gasoline on the rumors. The chemistry felt undeniable. Electric, too natural to be fake, too intimate to be accidental. Behind-the-scenes footage showed laughter, closeness, and a comfort that didn't look rehearsed. Even skeptics started to soften. Then came the interview. That changed everything. Common sat down for a podcast conversation that seemed casual at first. But about 20 minutes in, the tone shifted. His voice softened, his words slowed. He began speaking about Jennifer with reverence, calling her one of the greatest blessings of his life. He talked about balance, spiritual alignment, shared journeys, personal growth. On paper, it sounded like love. but something about it felt off. Instead of talking about them, he spoke mostly about himself, his evolution, his healing, his happiness. Fans noticed the pattern immediately. What was framed as a love story sounded more like a self-development seminar. Jennifer's approach couldn't have been more different. On her talk show and during public appearances, she remained guarded, reserved, intentional. When asked, she offered only small, carefully chosen words. At one film festival, she referred to him quietly as that man of mine. No speeches, no explanations. Just a soft claim that felt personal and real. No oversharing. No performances for the public. Insiders later summed it up simply: Jennifer wanted peace. Common wanted a platform, and that difference, subtle at first, would soon become impossible to ignore. Cliffhanger, because the real test of any relationship doesn't happen under bright lights. It happens when the spotlight fades and the doors close. And that night was coming. Hollywood has a rule no one ever admits out loud. There are no secrets, only delays. After one of Los Angeles' most exclusive industry events, the kind that pulls in executives, A-list celebrities, producers, and power brokers, Jennifer Hudson and Common did what many high-profile couples do when the cameras finally turn away. They disappeared, not home, not to separate cars, but into an elite after-party tucked behind closed doors at Delilah, a venue designed for privacy. No phones, no press, no photos. A space where reputations are protected and rumors are supposed to die. But that night, something slipped through the cracks. Multiple witnesses later described the same scene. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly enough to feel real. Common, relaxed, and animated, was seen spending time with a tall, model-type woman, laughing, leaning close, his arm resting comfortably around her waist. The body language didn't read professional. It didn't look like networking. And most importantly, it wasn't Jennifer Hudson. What made the situation devastating wasn't just what happened, it was how it surfaced. According to industry chatter, Jennifer didn't hear about it from Common. There was no private conversation, no explanation, no late-night honesty. She found out the way celebrities dread most. Through whispers, through blogs, through text messages sent, just checking on you. For a woman who had fiercely protected her personal life since the very public pain of her breakup with David Otunga, this wasn't just betrayal, it was humiliation. Jennifer Hudson wasn't simply a girlfriend. She was a brand, an EGOT winner with endorsement deals, television contracts, studio relationships, and global influence. Stories suggesting her partner was publicly cozy with another woman didn't just threaten her heart. They threatened her empire, and yet she didn't explode. No emotional Instagram stories, no cryptic tweets, no angry interviews, no public accusations. Instead, Jennifer Hudson chose something far more powerful: silence. Not the messy kind, the controlled kind. A silence so deliberate it felt strategic, calculated. Almost regal. Fans began noticing the changes immediately. Her interviews grew sharper, shorter. When Common's name came up, there was often a pause, brief, but heavy. A look that said more than words ever could. She wasn't playing along anymore. Behind the scenes, her public relations team moved fast and clean. The message was simple and consistent. Jennifer Hudson is focused on her work, her family, and her future. No drama. Chaos. No explanations owed. Meanwhile, Common's camp went into scramble mode. Statements quietly circulated suggesting the situation had been blown out of proportion, that nothing inappropriate had occurred, that they were just friends, that the media exaggerated everything as it always does. But public perception had already shifted. Jennifer's silence felt dignified. Common's defense felt desperate. Then came the detail that changed everything. A blind gossip item surfaced, the kind insiders take seriously even when they pretend not to. It suggested the woman Common had been seen with wasn't just some random model passing through Hollywood. She was allegedly connected to Jennifer's own circle, if true. This wasn't just cheating, it was betrayal, layered on betrayal. Speculation exploded overnight. Fans turned into detectives. Instagram likes were dissected. Old photos resurfaced, timelines were mapped, movements were tracked. Every post, every absence, every caption became evidence. And then something strange happened. Common vanished. No interviews, no red carpets, no social media presence. For a man who had always thrived in visibility, the disappearance spoke volumes. To fans, it looked like guilt. To industry insiders, it looked like damage control. And a bigger question began circulating quietly in boardrooms and group chats. Was this ever really about love? Or was it about power? Cliffhanger, because in Hollywood, relationships don't exist in isolation. Their business, their branding, their leverage. And if Jennifer Hudson was playing chess, the question remained, had Common already lost the game? Lost the game? In Hollywood, love rarely exists outside the lens of business. Every smile, every handshake, every red carpet appearance carries weight, not just emotionally, but financially. And when someone like Jennifer Hudson is involved, the stakes aren't small. An EGOT winner is more than a celebrity. She's a brand, a multi-million-dollar enterprise of talent, endorsements, television ratings, and influence. Every public image she projects ripples through networks, advertisers, and audiences worldwide. For Common, this was more than personal. It had entered the arena of professional consequence. Companies tied to his projects were growing nervous. Advertisers don't like uncertainty. Studios don't like scandal. Partners don't like instability. Suddenly, his name was attached to controversy he couldn't control. A whisper turned headline that spread faster than any press release. Yet Jennifer Hudson remained untouchable, calm, composed. Every public appearance she made during that period reinforced the narrative. Jennifer was focused, thriving, untethered by rumor. Photos surfaced of her in recording studios, behind the scenes of shows, laughing with her team, practicing lines, shaping scripts, and rehearsing vocals. She was productive. She was radiant. She was a queen who refused to play small. Meanwhile, Common was trying to find his footing. Social media posts from him felt nostalgic. Older performances resurfaced. Reflective captions hinted at regret. And moments from the past were shared as if he were searching for answers that could not be posted publicly. The contrast was stark. One was moving forward with grace. The other was caught in the backward pull of a story spinning out of his control. The internet, as it always does, chose sides. Fans debated endlessly, dissecting every appearance, every statement, every silence. Jennifer became the symbol of strength, dignity, and strategic silence. The woman who didn't need to defend herself to claim her power. Common became the figure of fleeting visibility. A man letting history and rumor define him. But the story wasn't over. Because in Hollywood, silence is never just emptiness. It's preparation. It's strategy. It's the calm before the storm. Behind closed doors, legal teams, publicists, and close confidants were working quietly. Every word, every photo, every public interaction was being evaluated. Timing mattered. Narratives mattered. The world may have seen Jennifer as serene and Common as reflective, but the machinery of the industry never sleeps. And yet, despite the strategic maneuvers, there was something deeply personal at play. Jennifer Hudson had built an empire out of resilience. She had survived heartbreak, loss, and public scrutiny. She knew that in life and in love, control is often the only weapon one truly has. And control she had in abundance. Sources close to her explained that every decision, every measured silence, every choice to stay composed was about protecting her personal peace and her professional integrity. She wasn't ignoring the pain, she was transcending it. Every small smile in an interview, Every laugh on stage, every caption posted on Instagram wasn't just public display. It was deliberate, calculated, and profoundly empowering. And yet, despite appearances, the question lingered. Could Common recover from this? Could the man who once thrived in the spotlight, whose career depended on visibility, find a way to regain the narrative? Or had the combination of betrayal, public scrutiny, and power dynamics left him exposed in ways no performance could fix? Meanwhile, industry insiders watched every move with keen interest. Was this a relationship quietly over, or was this a slow burn strategy to preserve public image? Could there be a reconciliation? A reunion staged for the cameras? Or had the story truly reached its conclusion behind the velvet ropes of Hollywood secrecy? Fans speculated endlessly. Theories circulated in forums, social media threads, and entertainment blogs. Some believed in a quiet reconciliation, a private rekindling hidden from cameras. Others thought this was the end of the line, the unavoidable result of ambition, misalignment, and personal priorities clashing in the most public of arenas. And through it all, one thing remains certain. Jennifer Hudson had emerged untouchable, strong, focused, thriving. Her story, her narrative, was being written in real time. Every action intentional, every silence louder than any statement could ever be. Common's narrative, by contrast, was fragile. Nostalgia and regret became his public companions, leaving the world to question whether his ambition and mistakes had cost him more than love, perhaps even legacy, in Hollywood. The game is never just about feelings. It's about perception, power, and endurance. And Jennifer Hudson was proving with every measured step that she understood this better than anyone. Cliffhanger, even when the cameras turn off. The echoes of Hollywood's chaos linger. For Jennifer Hudson, the aftermath of what had happened with Common wasn't just personal. It was professional, emotional, and strategic all at once. Every betrayal carries a cost, but for someone whose name is a global brand, the stakes were magnified exponentially. After the Delilah incident, insiders say Jennifer retreated into what she knew best: control. Not avoidance, not denial, but a careful recalibration of her life, her work, and her energy. Friends describe her as both devastated and resolute, a rare combination of raw, human emotion filtered through an unshakable armor of professionalism. The hurt she felt wasn't just about seeing him with someone else. It was compounded by the way she discovered it through gossip, blogs, and whispers in a world where loyalty is currency. It wasn't a lover's quarrel. It was a violation of trust, magnified 100-fold by public scrutiny. Yet Jennifer didn't allow herself to crumble. Instead, she made the silent, deliberate choice to move forward. Every interview was curated with precision. Every public appearance was a demonstration of her focus, her resilience, and her refusal to let someone else define her narrative. There was no spectacle, no dramatic outburst, no revenge, just quiet, undeniable strength. Meanwhile, Common faced a different reality. For a man accustomed to controlling the story through words and visibility, disappearance was impossible. His silence created suspicion, and the media interpreted every absence, every reflective post, every old clip shared online as evidence of regret. But in a world that values control and power, regret is weakness, especially when it's public. The contrast between them couldn't have been starker. Jennifer embodied forward motion, strategy, and grace. Common embodied reflection, absence, and a public search for redemption. Where she acted decisively, he hesitated. Where she communicated subtly, he disappeared. Where she built, he watched. Behind the scenes, Hollywood watched too. Executives, producers, and brand managers evaluated every move. Could this scandal impact endorsements? Could Jennifer's public image remain untarnished? Could Common's career withstand scrutiny tied to personal missteps? The questions weren't hypothetical. They were business reality. Friends of Jennifer revealed that she immersed herself in work as therapy. Studio sessions, rehearsals, television filming all became a fortress against emotional vulnerability. She leaned on family, close friends, and her professional team, building a network that offered support without spectacle. Every smile, every confident stride, every post on social media was intentional. She wasn't performing, she was protecting herself, her peace, and her empire. In contrast, Common's silence fueled speculation. Without a proactive narrative, rumors filled the void. Fans dissected posts, timelines, and public appearances, searching for clues. The internet's collective imagination amplified everything, turning private pain into public discussion. He became the subject of debate, while Jennifer became the standard of resilience. And yet, despite the chaos, one truth lingered quietly. This wasn't just a story about betrayal. It was a story about power, the personal power Jennifer had, cultivated through years of struggle, perseverance, and excellence. And it was about the consequences of underestimating that. Power. Sources close to both celebrities indicated that while Jennifer focused on rebuilding and fortifying her personal and professional life, Common began reevaluating his choices. Man who had always sought meaning in words and connection in presence now faced a truth he couldn't escape. Sometimes actions, or the lack thereof, define more than statements ever could. The public never saw the private reckoning. What happened in quiet conversations, in hotel suites, in recording studios, or behind closed doors at events remained shielded from prying eyes. But the ripple effect was unmistakable. Every choice, every post, every headline contributed to a narrative that couldn't be undone. Fans speculated endlessly. Was there reconciliation behind the scenes? Had they ended things privately without announcement? Was this silent chapter merely strategic? Or did it signal the definitive end of one of the most talked about Hollywood pairings in recent memory? Jennifer Hudson's handling of the aftermath solidified a new reality. Strength isn't always loud. Control isn't always visible. And grace isn't measured by public declarations, but by the ability to move forward unshaken when betrayal touches both heart and empire. Common's handling, however, served as a cautionary tale. Visibility without strategy, nostalgia without progress, and reflection without action can leave even the most respected figures vulnerable to scrutiny, speculation, and public judgment. The drama wasn't over. Hollywood doesn't forget. Fans don't forget. And in a city where love, business, and power collide in ways no outsider can predict, the story of Jennifer Hudson and Common remained alive, unresolved, and intensely compelling. Cliffhanger. What happens when ambition and love intersect with betrayal? Can an empire survive personal heartbreak? And more importantly, in the world of celebrity, can one ever truly separate the personal from the public?